Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Stitch Too Far, my real name Ingeborg. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy my video. If you've been a returning subscriber, thanks very much, and I'm happy to see you again. I don't know if that's going to be cut out, but we'll see about that. It is Sunday, December 18, and it's a week until Christmas. Yay! And I've been very busy cleaning house and making a big pot of chili and organizing floss. And then I realized, oops, the light is going and I still need to make video, or I want to make video. So here I am, not in my usual stitchy spot because the sun is setting already. So the light on my couch was just too dark. I hope this light isn't too bright in your face, but this is the best I can do. I'm in my stitchy spot, which means you can see my Christmas tree in the background. Everybody's been talking about their grandmothers this weekend. Every time I put out my Christmas stuff, I think of my grandma, and by that I mean the mother of my father, because that's the one I saw the most of when I was growing up. And when she passed, I actually inherited her Christmas stuff. So my Christmas tree has some of her ornaments, and I also have her nativity set. And I'm gonna add a little video at the end of this one to show you my Christmas decorations. Okay, anyway. I already know this will be longer than half an hour, so if you're not settled in yet, go grab your stuff, go grab your favorite beverage and start stitching, and I'll start talking. Okay, I think this video will be called All the Things because I have been on a finishing frenzy these last couple of weeks since we last spoke. I have around me 1, 2, 3 fully finished pieces and 1 finished piece. 2 finished pieces. So I accomplished quite a lot. What am I going to start with? I think I am going to start with my fully finished pieces, because those finishes, some are recent, some are not so recent. Well, I went to my local L&S the other day to get, before I forget, to get my own supplies for my Christmas stitching, and to get the threads for Northern Stitcher, Janice, who won my giveaway. And I just saw this morning that the package has arrived in the States. I don't know how long it will take to get up to Alaska, but hopefully before Christmas. I hope you enjoy it, Janice. And just grabbing my notes here because I went off on such a flurry. Not sure I'm doing this in the right order. Yeah, I am. That's great. So, I finished a lot of things, and when I went to my L&S, there's like a dollar store opposite of it. And I went in and had a look at their frames, and I found a few that I liked and that were perfect for some of my finishes. And the first one I picked up is the kimono, which just has a basic black frame around it. I thought everything else was already too much bling anyway, so I didn't want many distractions. But it's just a simple frame, and it has a stand. And as you can see, I mounted it on foam board and it doesn't fit, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to tack the back down better. I already left out the glass. I didn't really like the glass anyway, so, but I'm not so sure. So if you have any tips about how to make sure your backing stays on, or maybe replace it with something else, let me know. That's greatly appreciated. And then I also found finally a good frame for the Dragonfly that I finished somewhere, I think in August or September, I'm not sure. So I mounted and framed it yesterday. And here she is. Isn't that just a perfect frame for it? It's silver colored, but it's like an antique silver. And it does show a bit of lines in the fabric, but I don't really care that much to try and fix that. So this one is finally framed. Now all I have to do is find some place to hang it, which will be my next challenge. But yeah, 2 fully framed, fully finished objects. And I have another one I was gonna say. Cheers. I have a new coffee cup. You like it? It's supposed to keep your coffee warm longer. I'm not sure if this really works, but so far I drink it fast enough anyway. But today, probably with this video, might take me a while. But yeah, I'm trying it out. If I like it, I'll buy more of these. Okay, anyway, that was the rabbit hole, and we're climbing back out and going to our next fully finished. Well, I still need to have to adjust the frame, but after last week, no, 2 weeks ago, the last video, I already mentioned that Ginger Gerald Stitcher, I think he's called on YouTube, made me want to stitch on my planets again, so I decided to pick them up at the start of, I think, last weekend, and I finished Mars, and then I thought I'd go for the full set and work on Jupiter and see how far I would get. And Jupiter actually was pretty easy to stitch, pretty fast to stitch, because it had a lot less colors than the rest. So I finished them both. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some of my progress. And I already had the frame for it, and I stuck it in yesterday just to see if I liked it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So, oh my god, all the glare. That is just horrible. Let's see if I can fix that. Hang on. I am sorry, that's the best I can do. Yep, that's why I usually sit on the other side. I might have to show it again when I finally frame it, but this has glass in it, and I actually wanted to get it out, and I can't. It's glued to the frame. So if any of you have experience with that kind of frame, let me know if I can safely remove it or if I'm just stuck with it, because I don't like it. I like it without. Oh, that's better actually. At least you get no glare now. But yeah, I really like it without the glass a lot better. I'm sure there's all kinds of reasons why I should have glass in it or shouldn't, but I just go with what I like aesthetically. And this is not really pleasing, and it's crooked anyway, so I'm gonna have to take it out. But if you have any experience with taking glass out of frames, it seems to be glued in, let me know. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll use this frame for something else and go hunt for a frame for the planets. And when I first started or restarted these planets on the Aida, I was talking about maybe adding some little seed beads as sort of stars, like gold and silver beads. And I have them in my stash, but I decided against it because I thought it might be a bit distracting. And I really like how it's looking at the moment. So yeah, a sort of half fully finished project in progress. Yeah, we'll get back to this hopefully soon. Okay, and oh, I forgot one. After waiting for 19 days, yes, count them, 19, I finally received the skein of floss that I had ordered that they sent the wrong number for. and that they sent me with priority mail from Italy. If they ever offer to do that, guys, and you're ordering from Casa Sonina in Italy, just really consider how much you want that floss at that time, because I really wanted it at that time, and I even went to my LNS to check if they had it there, and they didn't have it in stock. So I really was stuck with waiting for that mail, and then it's really annoying to have to wait 19 days to finish something. But it finally arrived yesterday, so yesterday evening I finished the final roads, hearts. I needed this color, that's the only one I was waiting for. So when I had that, I could count it out all along the bottom and add the roads, hearts, and finish this piece. And I had like stock cards with just no hole in it, but I just measured and cut out the hole and stuck it in with glue. It's kind of wonky, but yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna add this to a card and send it to the person that I was talking about previously, and hopefully you like it. So, one more finish. I told you it's a finish frenzy over here. I'm gonna put this somewhere safe. So, the other thing I worked on was Patient Stitcher. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Which looks like this in the pattern, and it calls for Gloriana silks to be used, a Florimel, and I didn't like it, or I couldn't find them, so I just went to my LNS and picked out some silks, and I used dinky dyes for the blue and the yellow, and I used a wildflower for the border pattern, and the wildflower is Nefertiti, and I finished it. Yay! I only had about 30% left to do, I think, and when I picked it up and I finished one of the borders and I only had to do one corner more and some lettering and some background, I thought I am going to stick with this and finish it. So, here it is. I can't see a thing. Okay. I am so pleased with this. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. And the only thing I need now is a frame for it. And put it somewhere nice. And I don't know if this pattern is still available. I'll check it out. If it's not, I'm going to pass it on to anyone who's interested. I'll let you know. I think it's still available though, but I'll check out. Yeah, very happy with this. And she actually said that you could use some of the background medallions for ornaments, and I haven't really thought about that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. But you never know. It's going to be Christmas holiday soon, and I might be tempted. Okay. That was finish all the things. Am I forgetting something new? I prepared a little video for Pip Stitch. He is new on Flosstube. He just did his first video, I think a week or two ago. And he was talking in his video about his heights and using half stitch versus 10 stitch, and really didn't understand why there was a difference or what the difference was. So, and he said he couldn't find a good video about it, so I decided, after talking to him, that I would try and make a video and show the difference. So that video is going to be added here. Hello. I'm gonna try and make a quick video. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, but it was based upon a little conversation I had with Philip. Now I have to remember his YouTube name. I think it's Pip Stitch, but I'll put it somewhere. And he was saying in his first Flosstube video about how he didn't understand the difference between half stitch and 10 stitch and why it would be important to use them. So I had a little conversation with him, and in the end I said, well, maybe I can show you what I mean with a little video. So here I am making a little video, and I've done some preparation because I had this issue myself, or this thought myself, when I started with my first full coverage, which is this one. You've seen it before, I think, on my first or second Flosstube video. This is Lady with Pearl. It's kit by Luca S. And if you want more details, leave a comment and I'll gladly help you out. But this is not about this piece, it's about house stitch. And this is the first time I actually had, I'm sorry if I move too much, by the way. I'm holding the camera in hand. But this is the first time I had to use not a full cross stitch in my stitching. And that took a little bit of getting used to, but I managed to do it. So this whole piece is done in a 10th stitch, and if I just wanted to show this first, just to show you that it wouldn't look any different. Let's focus in on the pearl. So as you can see, you can't see from the front any difference between a 10 stitch or a half stitch, but you can see it a bit on the back. So I'm going to flip this over and show you. Try and find a spot where you can sort of tell. I guess it's over here. And as you can see, where's my finger? Oh my god, I have a giant finger. But if you look here, you can see that there's a slant to the stitches in the back. And if you do a normal half stitch, you won't have that. And I'm going to show you a bit later on. And just to make you laugh, this is how I traveled to get all the colors, the confetti colors in the eye. That's just for fun. Okay, I'm going to pause and turn this around, and I'm going to talk a bit about the importance of half stitch versus 10 stitch. Okay, apparently I didn't pause, but you won't notice that because I will just edit this into the video. Why is it important to do a 10 stitch? This is not important at all, but it is helpful in two scenarios. People use it when they are doing tapestry stitching. They use a 10 stitch rather than a half stitch because it's supposed to give you better coverage. It doesn't show the threads from the tapestry grid mesh thing as much. And the reason that us cross stitchers use it is for full coverage pieces when you're working over one thread of your fabric instead of over two. It can be possible to have stitches that slip if you're not using a 10 stitch, but if you're using a half stitch. So what you're looking at now is my artist's impression of fabric threads, and I'm going to grab a needle and show you. So This is I darkened the vertical threads in the fabric, and these are the horizontal threads in the fabric. And it's linen, as you can see, because it's not very even, ha ha ha. But anyway, this is how you would stitch a half stitch. So I would start here and come up through the fabric on this side, go over the fabric, and go down through the fabric on this side, go underneath the thread, come up through the fabric and go down again over here and come up again over here, etc., etc. And as you can see, it would give a slanted stitch on the front, which I have put in blue, and in the back it would give a straight stitch, and that I have done by adding in a, how do you call this, a dotted line. So that's how it would look. But normally when you're stitching over 2, that is fine, but if you're stitching over 1, you may see what is happening with this particular situation. What can happen here is that your thread can slip along this upper thread and just sort of disappear. I hope that makes sense. And in order for that not to happen, so I've noticed it myself in I'm stitching on the, what's it called? This piece. What's it called? Blackwork Journey? Save the Stitches. Thank you. Yeah, it's Saturday night. I've noticed it myself. I'm stitching this on 25 count. Some parts I have to do over 1, and you think you've stitched something and then it's gone. The stitch has vanished, and that's because you're using half stitches. So how do 10 stitches work? Well, let's go to the second artist impression. The same fabric, and here I have shown how the 10th stitch works. So with the 10th stitch you would start not in the bottom left but in the top right, come up in the fabric and go down in the bottom left. Travel 2 spaces, 2 threads, so come up again to the right of where you started and go down to the left, bottom left. Travel underneath again over 2 threads, come up to the right of your last stitch and go down in the bottom left, etc., etc. Now if you like your slants to go the other way, it's the same principle. The thing you will notice with this is because you're crossing 2 threads, it makes it impossible for your stitch to slip. That's why people like to use this method. And the second thing you might notice is you start from the right, and first you go to the left before you travel to the right. So you take 1 step back, you take 2 steps forward. Maybe that's easier to explain it that way. So now, just to show you what it looks like, I've made a little preparation, because here I just added 2 rows of what seem to be the same sort of stitches. And we're going to pause, and I'm going to show you what they look like on the back. And here's what they look like on the back. So as you can see, the top one is the half stitch because it has the vertical lines going across the back, and the bottom one is the 10 stitch because it is traveling in a slanted way across the back. Now this is why people that make tapestries like this stitch better, because the coverage on the back is better and you see less light shining through on the front of it. And it's supposed to help if you stitch cushions. It's also supposed to help because it uses more thread, and that way it doesn't wear as badly. So back to the front. So I stitched these over 2, as you can see, just to show you the difference between the 2 and the difference that you can only see on the back. So the next 2 blocks I stitched the same 2 types of stitches, but over 1. what to me is very clear is that there seems to be quite a difference in coverage. So on the left side we have the half stitch, on the right side we have the 10 stitch. That was very interesting to me, and I'm trying to see how far I can zoom in. Well, not that far. Yeah, this is about as close as I'm gonna get. But it seemed to me when I was stitching this one that the stitches were more irregular, and it does show a bit. And these were much more regular. And I had no problem with this side, with stitching it. With this side I had some stitches that are slipping, and maybe you can even see it over here. They are starting to move around and causing gaps. Okay, one more look at what the back looks like. And this is the back, and now this side is the half stitch, as you can see from the vertical lines in the back. This one is the 10 stitch, as you can see from the, well, you can't really see it, maybe if I bring in the light a bit. Tricky as always trying to film your stitching. But yeah, you can't really see it. Well, I can't really see it on my telephone screen, but the slanted piece on the left is the 10 stitch. And okay, let's go back to the front and talk for a minute. Okay, and we're back to the front, and I'm gonna check my notes to see if there's anything I forgot to mention while you can stare at my Save the Stitches piece. So when do you use a 10 stitch? You use it when you're stitching over one and you are trying to prevent your stitch from slipping, or you want a better coverage. That's basically the two reasons. The disadvantages of this method of using a 10 stitch instead of a half stitch is, as you may have seen, you use a lot more thread with a 10 stitch. So keep that in mind if you're doing a piece that you may require more thread than you're anticipating, or that's suggested on the pattern. And one thing people have mentioned in occasions is that with the 10 stitch there is a possibility of a slight warping of your fabric, and I had a little bit of that with my Vermeer piece, but it wasn't that bad, and I have a feeling it has to do with the tension of your stitches. I have very high tension stitches, especially on that Vermeer piece. I tend to tug my threads real hard, and I think that might have aided in the warping. So that's something to consider. Well, as you can see, I had no problem with framing it or doing anything with it, beside it being slightly warped from my 10 stitches. So the last thing I wanted to do is to try and show you quickly what it looks like when you're using a 10 stitch, because we all know how to do a half stitch, that comes natural. The 10 stitch takes a bit of thinking. So I'm going to try and put this camera on my magnifier like I did previously and stitch a bit, and what I will do is I will stitch it over two, because otherwise I will not be able to see what I'm doing and you won't learn anything basically. So I'll be right back. And we're back. And I hope we're positioned reasonably well. So I thought I would just give you a quick demonstration of how to go about with using the 10 stitch. And I have my needle right here, and I am going to stitch maybe 2 rows of maybe 5 stitches, maybe 3 rows. Let's see how it goes. So if I want to start working from left to right, and I use a slant which is going from my bottom left to my top right corner normally, that means I would have to start in the top right corner because I'm working from left to right. But it may not make a lot of sense, but I'm going to show it anyway. Let's see. So I'm not going to be too exact about this. So that's my first slant. Now if I do a half stitch, I would either start over here and go this way, or start over, over here and go down. For the 10th stitch, if I'm going to move this way, I am going to go over here. See? To the right of where you start. I started over here, going to the right. And then I'm going to go to the down of where I started. Like this. And I've made another slant. And again I go to the right of where I came up last. And I come up there again. And I go to the right of where I went down through the fabric last. Etc, etc. So it's sort of counterintuitive when you start it, but I don't know if you noticed how many black there is in the Vermeer, but I started with about I don't know, 20,000 stitches in black or something. So I had enough time to practice rows and rows and rows and rows of this type of stitching, so I've gotten quite used to it, and sometimes I even automatically do this in pieces that don't actually require it. So now if I would have to go down in the next row, I would have to stitch opposite of how I've been stitching, because I'm going to go back down this way. So I would this time start at the bottom of where I went in the fabric the last time. So it can come up straight down from where I went in last time. And then I go back up to finish my stitch to the upper right corner. And then I'm going to go down and come up again to the left of where I last came up through the fabric. And I'm going to go down to the left of where I last went down through the fabric. And come up again, etc, etc. So this is the counterintuitive part, that you're sort of switching every time you move in your rows. Okay. And then you can also do the stitch in columns. So I'm going to continue on in columns. And that means that every time you go to the place below where you came up first, and you go down one stitch below where you went down last, etc, etc. Okay, I hope you get the hang of this now. There is one thing that I know that Carolyn Mazzio did a video about her parking with this type of stitching. I'm not going to show you any parking because I don't have a project on the go right now that has 10 stitch and has parking in it. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to try and find that video and link it in the description box below. Yeah, That's about all I can think of. If that wasn't clear, if you still have questions, if you want to see me clumsily stitch more, then that's fine. Leave a comment or leave a question behind and I will get back to you. Okay, happy stitching. Okay, I hope that answered some of your questions and hope that was useful for some of you. And I just wanted to add that this is just my own experience and what I found on the internet. This is not me talking like I'm some kind of expert. I am just sharing with you what I learned through doing it myself and through reading on internet. So, one more all the things thing. I didn't just finish all the things, I hold all the things. But I have it under control now, but I have been kitting up a lot of stuff and I've had some extra patterns come in. So I'm going to pick up my new box with kitted projects because I didn't have a box to fit them in anymore. And I'm going to walk you through some of the things. Not all of the things, because a lot of it I've already shown you. But some of it I haven't. So this is all my kitted stuff and some patterns for next year to kit up, I guess. This I've already shown. What's this? Oh yeah. I went to my Lanarte to pick up the threads for this pattern. This one. It's in this magazine. I showed you this before. And I'm going to start it for Christmas, and I was waiting until Christmas and then I thought, why am I waiting until Christmas? I'm going to start this today. When I finally sit down and do some stitching. Okay, I have some interesting things I learned when I was over there. And the first thing was these beautiful flosses I got. This one is called Christmas. Isn't that just beautiful? It's showing up pretty nice, only what is showing up as pink on my telephone should be just like a real Christmas red. That's so nice. Then I got two types of variegated greens. One is called pine and one is called autumn greens. And this is showing up pretty accurately, so the left one, or that's your left, my left, your right, I don't know. This one is the pine one and this one is the autumn leaf one. It's showing up pretty close to real life. Really nice. And these are Passion. They might look a bit like the one I'm using for, what's it called, Death by Cross Stitch, but these are actually a bit more Christmas color red than the dark wine color red that I have in Death by Cross Stitch. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun. Oh, and I learned something new, only then to forget immediately afterwards what it was. But this stuff that she gave me, this is a metallic gold, and this came off a little, how do you call them? Like this one, like a, yeah, we call it a cloche. So it came off one of those, but it wasn't a Krennic, and it's not a petite treasure braid, but she said this is one of the greatest types of metallic to sew with, because like petite treasure braid, it's made with rayon, I think. Yeah, the same material anyway. It's a bit finer than petite treasure braid. And she said the skein, I'm gonna call it skein, is like 100 meters for for like $1.50 or something, compared to Petite Treasure braid, which is a lot less yardage for twice that amount. So that's why she prefers that. And she told me the name, but I forgot. So next time I go there, I will definitely ask. And hopefully by then I will have also tried this out. And I will let you know if this indeed is similar in quality to the Rainbow Gallery stuff. If it is, I am going to go for this next time. Because just think about it. That is like twice the amount for half the price. That's ridiculous. So let's hope it's good quality. But knowing my needlework LNS owner, she goes for quality. Because we had an interesting talk about threads when I was there. Because I was looking for some Weeks Dye Works and I was looking for some Gentle Arts, and she said she used to have them, but she doesn't have them in stock anymore. She sold them off when she took over the shop because she doesn't like those brands, because she doesn't like the cotton they use. She said it's too fluffy and it breaks too easily. And I have no idea about that, so I'm going to find out, because I have a lot of Gentle Arts and Weeks in my kitted up projects and I've never used them before. So I'm going to share with you if I agree with her or not. Anyway, that was my local needle workshop trip. Then let's see if I got something else. Oh yeah, I kitted up with Weeks Dye Works this pattern, and I don't think I've shown you this pattern, but it's a pattern I want to start next year, somewhere in the spring, because I just love the colors. Cornwall Cottage Sampler by Rosewood Manor. Enabled much? I don't think I've seen anyone stitch this. If you have, please let me know, because I would love to see this being stitched on. But yeah, I think it might be something I will start for my birthday, which is in May. And this is going to be so much fun. Yep, so I kitted that up, ready to go for next year. And no. Oh yeah, I saw my memorabilia and I got a message from Picture This Plus that my shipment has shipped. So my fabrics to kit up the last remaining projects will be arriving in about 2 weeks. I am hoping. Might be nice to get them during my holiday break. So yeah, and then I got a message from Carrie's Threads that she just shipped me her threads. So yay. Those are the last things I'm waiting for, and then I've kitted up everything that I want to start next year or during Christmas. Yeah. Oh yeah, I found some more threads for the perennial border, and I mentioned last time that they sent me replacement threads for the things that they didn't have in stock, and I just wanted to show you, because replacement threads, yeah, not really. This one is the one that's closest, so they sent me, instead of this Threadworks 1080, which as you can see has all kinds of pinks and light blue colors in it. I'm trying to see if there's a name on it. No, it's not. It's number 1080, and they sent me this, which is a Blueberry by Gloriana as a replacement. And okay, it has blues in it, but it doesn't have any of the pinks in it. So this one is the closest, apparently, that they could get. Then I have this one, which is 1152, and I got a pearl cotton for this, number 12 pearl, but I don't know if I made a mistake there or that was the only one they had. But yeah, these are all kinds of pinks and going into light purples. And this is another Gloriana grape that they sent as supposedly replacement, which is so much darker. So I'm going to use the Threadworks instead, and then this one just is absolutely ridiculous. This is a Threadworks 1081. It has pinks and some beige, light brown colors in it. The pink is like, you know, the old rose pink, light pink roses. And this is what they sent me. And supposedly a replacement color, which is Weeks Dye Works Cyclamen. Yeah, I am definitely going to stick with the Threadworks. So it's nice of them to try and find me suitable colors, but next time I'm going to say no thank you to that. And I'm glad I found the threads that are supposed to go on it. I'm sure I'll find something to use replacement threads on. I don't worry about that too much. Okay. Yeah. Remember the Navajo song? I am kitting that up. I just can't resist not starting that. That was the Navajo song lyric thing that I showed you last time. Oh yeah. And I think I got some new patterns here that I'll just check for you. This one I definitely haven't shown you, which I'm kitting up because I would love to get everything so I could start this Christmas day. Feliz Navidad. I just love this. This is by Victoria Sampler. I just love this sheep, it's so cute. And I don't have many Christmas stitching, so that will be fun. This one you've seen, this one you've seen, this one you've seen. I'm all picking those up. Oh yeah. I found one of my online shops in the Netherlands was having a great Christmas sale and selling out some of their older kits for 75% off. And the most of those, and I didn't really like, it wasn't my style, but I found a Thea Gouverneur one in them, and I don't know if you know, but Thea Gouverneur is from the Netherlands, and she only makes kits, and the kits never give out the DMC numbers of the floss, and they always cost an enormous amount of money, but I managed to get one for only 25% of the price. And I love it. It is Antique Tiles. I'm trying to see, it's number 483. See that? I just love those Delft tiles. And it comes with a linen. It's 11 by 11 inch and it's got all the floss in it. So normally these are like 40 bucks, and now I got it for like 10, which I find okay for a kit. And I got this one, trying to look, designed by Linda Myers. It's a bit of a weird colored piece, but rosy radiant star. It's sort of a quilt look. I was in a Christmas mood, as you can tell. I don't have any, well, I have one piece of Christmas stitching and that's all. And I figured I'm going to stock up on some more if I can for a quarter of the price. I got one of these. It is an older copy of the magazine I just showed you. And I got this one because it had some nice little ornaments that you can do for Christmas in it. I'm not going to do a flip through because it's probably rather old. I think it might be 2 years old. Not sure. But yeah, I got this if I get bored. I got this Alessandra Adelaide. Christmas tree. It's from 2009. I got this book. Let's see if I got anything else that you haven't seen yet. I think I showed you the Victorian sampler pieces, but I've been looking through them. And this is an example, the green earth. I love this. And these are all have hardanger in it. And I have never done hardanger before, and I was looking through some of them to see if I could understand how to do it. And I must say, I find that Victoria Sampler isn't the greatest with explaining how to do the hardanger stitches. So if you have for me any recommendation as to where I can find some good books or tutorials or videos on hardanger, like for beginners, please let me know, that would be wonderful. And that's all, I think. Those are all things I've showed you before. Yeah, except for this. I got this at discount. And I've been eyeing this for about half a year now. I've seen some people on Flosstube have this. And I couldn't find a lot of images from the inside for this book, but I just only wanted it because I really wanted this, and I hoped that I would get some other patterns as well that I would really like. And I must say I am pleasantly surprised. There are some awesome designs in here, really nice and really good variety. They're all based around plants and gardening, but there's enough in here that I can make some really nice things for myself and even for my family. Show you a little bit of an example. If you want me to do a flip through, let me know and I will add it into one of my next videos. But I will only do it if you want me to, because this video is already 15 minutes and I know I've talked about half an hour in the other part of my video, so I don't want to keep you, and everybody else is doing videos. So if you want me to make a flip through, feel free and leave a comment and I will do that. But not now. And that was all the haul. So basically I have given you with this bit of all the haul a glimpse of what I am planning to stitch next year. So I'm planning to do one more video this year, somewhere in the break between Christmas and New Year's, because then I have vacation. And I will probably get bored from stitching after 2 or 3 days full-time stitching. So probably by the end of the week I will want to do a last video, and I will not do a video showing what my plans are, but I will do a little video showing what I've done this year and what I've learned this year. And let's see if I have anything else I want to say. And let's check if my coffee is still warm. It is, yay! Yeah. Yeah, so I have one more week of work before Christmas. And then I will have a break. I always love Christmas. We always spend the first day of Christmas with the family. And the second day everybody does whatever they want. And that for me usually means I just spend the day at home and I read and I stitch and I cook and I maybe go out for a walk depending on the weather. And I love it. And the same for New Year's or New Year's Eve. I'm sick of the parties. I don't like them anyway, and I don't particularly enjoy the fireworks because usually it's cloudy and people have crappy fireworks anyway. here in the Netherlands we all are allowed to buy our own fireworks and set them off during New Year's Eve. So there sometimes are municipal fireworks displays, but usually it's everyone for themselves and they buy crappy stuff. So New Year's Eve I usually spend at home as well, stitching, watching videos or movies. And the New Year's Day was my other grandma's birthday. So we have a tradition that on New Year's Day we always spend with my mom's family, which is so big that we always have to rent like a room in a restaurant and a room fit for 100 people, because that's about or close to 75 people when everybody's there, 75 to 100. I lost count somewhere because it's all my mom's brothers and sisters with their husbands or wives, their children, which are my cousins, and all the cousins are, by this time, the youngest one is something like 20, the oldest is getting close to 50. So most of them have children by now, so they bring their children too. And I don't even know what their names are. There are so many, I lost count, and I have a bad memory anyway. But it's a lot of fun and I always go to that. Anyway, I am rambling. I just wanted to say before signing off that I hope you have not too stressful of a week in preparing for Christmas, and that you have a wonderful Christmas celebration. And if you don't celebrate that, whatever you celebrate, you have a lovely day or days. And even if you don't celebrate anything, then still you can have a lovely day, I hope, and have some time off. And hi guys, this is my Christmas tree. Can't seem to get a full shot of it, but anyway, I'm kind of traditional with my tree. I like just silver and red colors in it and not too many lights. And this is actually a fake tree because I got sick of cleaning up the needles, and I do like the smell of the pine, but it wasn't worth it in the end. You can get a smell of pine with a nice candle or anything else. So I just wanted to, I'm gonna make you a little bit sick. I'm gonna walk towards it because I want to show you my grandma's tree topper. Here she is. It's an angel, which is not really traditional in the Netherlands. We don't usually put an angel on the top. Well, at least not that I've seen. We usually put like a sort of a bauble with a spike on it on the top. But yeah, this is an angel, and it's my grandma's. Something to remind me of her every year. And some of my ornaments from up close. I have a mix of old and new, like this one is old, it's from my family. It used to have a flute, I think, but it's gone. These big ones are my grandma's too. And the other ones are things I accumulated throughout the years. And next I will show you my nativity. Hang on, be right back. And before I show you the nativity, this is the Sinterklaas present that I got, and I have decorated it with just a little bit of sparkly ornaments, and the lights were already on it. It's really nice. It's hanging by my door. I can see it from a stitchy spot, which is nice. So finally on to the nativity. And here we go. This is my dining room table, and I have my table runner out, which I showed you this summer with the reindeer. I'm not sure if I remember what the pattern was, but if you want to know, just leave me a comment and I will look it up for you. And I have this bowl with ornaments and candles, usually on my living room table anyway, and I just added a little bit more color to it this year and some extra sparkly ornaments, and I just put it here just to show you, and I'll put it back later. And finally, this is my grandma's nativity scene, and it's just a standard nativity. I've seen it a lot in parts around here, but the added bonus is these paper angels, and me and my sister actually made those when we were little for my grandmother, and she kept them, and that's what makes it extra special for me. So that's why I'll always put it out, even though I'm not really a believer anymore. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of my Christmas ornament and decorations tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you all a very lovely Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Bye.